Hello, good afternoon. Welcome back to the Celtic Way. I'm Tony Haggerty at the Haggerty10 on the X and Twitter handle, and I'm joined by Ryan McGinley at the Ryan McGinley, who's somewhere outside Celtic Park. And as you can see, it's quite sunny. Ryan's got the shades on. How are you, Ryan?
First of all, it isn't a fashion statement. It genuinely is that bright this afternoon, which is brilliant. The sun's out. It feels like a Scottish Cup weekend. Celtic against Hibs. Really looking forward to today's game. Feels like a big one. Don't know about you, Tony. It feels like a massive game. Feels like it's been the longest week ever previewing this one game. But we're here. We're only about an hour or so away from kickoff. I can't wait to get into it, really.
Excellent. But before we do that, a quick word from our sponsor. And as you can see, we have a new sponsor. It's S1 Jobs. The Celtic Way is brought to you by S1 Jobs. So if it's time to hand in your transfer request, then head over to S1 Jobs and upload your CV today. With thousands of jobs across Glasgow and the surrounding areas, you'll find the one at S1 Jobs. So start your search today, and we thank them for sponsoring the podcast. Ryan, you said it there. It has the feeling of a big one. 7,000 Hibs fans coming to Celtic Park today. Scottish Cup quarter-final. Celtic going in search of their sixth treble in 9 years. It's got all the makings and ingredients and hallmarks of a classic. But first and foremost, we'll see what the team is, Ryan.
Yes, absolutely. I will read out the team. Casper Schmeichel in goals, a back four of Alistair Johnson, Cameron Carter-Vickers, Austin Trusty and Jeffrey Schlupp. Got a midfield three of Callum McGregor, Arnott Engels and Rio Hatate. Daizen Maeda leads the line. Jota is on the left and Nicholas Kuhn is on the right. I'll just let you read out the subs, Tony.
Yes, the substitutes are Sinizalo, Taylor, Ida, Yang, McCowan, Kenny, Murray and Ralston. Ryan, I wrote about it in midweek. I sort of said the only dilemma the manager would have, would he substitute Yang for Kuhn? But he's gone with Kuhn, giving Kuhn the nod. That is Celtic's strongest team at this moment in time.
Yes, I would agree with that. That is 1 to 11. All of the players I would have picked for today's game. I know there was a slight question mark maybe on should Yang get it and the balance of his performances recently, but he's went with the strongest team. The strongest midfield. You've got Hatate and Engels in there supporting McGregor. You've got Jota on the left, Kuhn on the right, and Daizen Maeda through the middle. Daizen Maeda has really taken up that role that's been required from Celtic or by Celtic when Kyogo left the club. He's been that main man through the middle, the focal point through the middle. Adam Maeda scored goals as well. We must not forget that. But in terms of their main source of goals, he's taking it like a duck to water, that forward role, and he's really, really thriving in it. I'm really enjoying what he's bringing to the team at the moment. I can't see him not scoring today. I say that about every game at the moment, but he's just a danger man, and he's the player that Hibs have got to keep quiet, because if they don't keep him quiet, Celtic will be going through the semi-finals without much of a fuss today.
Ryan, usually when the big games come along and roll along, Celtic have got that mindset and mentality. But they'll be mindful of the fact that the last trip to Easter Road, they lost 2-1. And probably if Celtic needed a wee shake, then that's probably a good thing. Because if you're going to have a bad one, then have it now. You're still 16 points clear in the title race. So have it then. But I think with that week that they've had off, the minds will be sharpened, they'll be refocused, and it'll be back to business as usual for Celtic.
Yeah, and I think with the audio coming out from VAR as well, that'll give them a bit of a catalyst for today's game. Could be the catalyst to really spring them on. They might feel hard done by, and they should feel hard done by, because it was a shocking decision from the VAR and the referee in the game to not allow that goal. The fact that the goal was scored and then VAR intervened when they weren't sure themselves that the ball was over the line. I want them to take that as fuel to their fire today to get through to that semi-final. It's the same team. I think on the balance of play in that last game, Celtic should have at least got a draw, especially for their second half performance. I feel like that disallowed goal really did take the wind out of their sails ever so slightly, and they really struggled to create anything of note from that point onwards. But today's a different one. It's a one-off game. It's knockout football. This should suit Celtic. It's at home. It's at Celtic Park. And I don't know about you, Tony, I think that the 7,000 Hibs fans, that'll be a catalyst for Celtic as well, because I think that'll not wake up the support, but the home support on to really drive their team forward.
That'll help no end. I think Celtic rise to the occasion when there's an atmosphere created. These players are big game players. They have that big game mentality. Now you're talking about players looking at that midfield. You mentioned Maeda, you're loving what he's bringing. Jota likes being the star of the show, doesn't he? And at home, he's turned it on big time since he came back. But in that midfield, Ryan, we're starting to see a technician, aren't we? Both in skill, technique, and even doing the hard yards, and that's Arne Engels.
Yeah, me and you, I think, are both massive fans. I think we've been steering this ship for a few months now, but I think we can both see what he brings. It's there, we've got the ocular proof now that he's doing it on the pitch. It's not just you have to defend him and saying he does this, and other people are like, oh, but he doesn't do that. I think he's put it all together all of a sudden, and everyone can see how well that he's playing at the moment. I think I just think he's got the world at his feet at the moment at Celtic. Today is a massive game for him. The big pitch at Celtic Park, quarter-final. Pressure's on ever so slightly because Celtic were defeated by today's opponents in their last game. But I think he'll be looking at this game as an opportunity to really show how good he can be. He's really went up a level in the past few months or so, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he can bring to the party today, because if he's playing well, I think today, if Dyson Maeda plays well and Arne Engels play well and the rest of the team match that, then I don't think there'll be much problems today. I think these players are match winners in their own right, but they're also infectious in the way that they play, because it permeates onto the other players. They all get excited as well when they play, and it seems as if the team works together as one. So if those two players can play and turn it on like we know that they can today, then I think Celtic should be fine. But it's all about having the right mindset and attitude today.
Yeah, indeed. Guys, get your predictions, scorelines, whatever you want to say in the comments section. And as you know, if you subscribe to the channel, and the channel's free, subscribers can get their comments in the chat, and we'll maybe read some of them out as well. But yeah, so as you say, if you want to have a wee note and post it up, then we'll try and read that out. Then subscribe to the channel. That's completely free. As I say, subscribers can get their comments on the chat as well. So all good. There's a few scorelines coming in, Ryan. We'll get to them. Now, Ryan, Brendan Rodgers, this is his 20th Scottish Cup tie. He's won the previous 19.
It's not bad going, is it? He's just the very definition of a winner as a Celtic manager. He knows how to win cup ties. He's only lost one cup tie in his whole Celtic career, and that spans basically just about 5 years now in charge of Celtic in terms of both spells. Just accumulates to roughly about 5 years. He is a winner. He knows how to win these ties. But I think everything's going for him today. There's no injuries to be had. You're playing with the sun out. You're playing with players that are in form, such as Dyson Maeda, Arne Engels, Jota. Even the defence is looking decent at the moment with Jeffrey Schlupp in that position. So if they can all do well on the day, then I don't think there'll be any problems. Brendan Rodgers is a winner, and I'm sure that he can get his 20th cup tie win this afternoon.
I thought you were about to say Old Parkhead in the sun. We all know what follows after that. But yeah, we'll get to the scoreline predictions in a minute. But anything else caught your eye this week, Ryan? Obviously, the manager's always very keen on telling people that this is when Celtic come alive, and they certainly look as if they mean business, and that's the strongest team, as we've said there. He's put out, like the fact that Jeffrey Schlupp's in the team as well. I just think he gives them real balance on that left-hand side as well, and that big game experience. I'm looking forward to seeing what he brings to. Alistair Johnston's been immense this season. Just every player in that starting 11, Ryan, you trust to do the job, don't you?
We do, yeah, because they've got previous with doing so. This team delivers on the big stage. They deliver on the domestic stage. They're starting to deliver on the European stage as well. It was a really positive European campaign. I want Celtic to build on that for next season. When it comes to domestic football, that's their bread and butter. This is what they need to go and win. The treble is required this season. Rangers are out of the competition. I would argue that the treble was required before Rangers were put out of the competition, because that's what Celtic supporters and those who cover Celtic demand, that Celtic win games and win trophies. They're in a great position. They're the strongest team left in the competition. They're coming up against, in my opinion at the moment, the second strongest team left in the competition. It's a standout fixture. It's going to be a great atmosphere. I just think that if Celtic show up the way that they have been showing up this season, when the pressure's on, when the chips are down, then I think they'll be absolutely fine today. Tony, I'm supremely confident today because I know what these players are capable of. It wouldn't surprise me if they go a couple of goals up within 10, 15 minutes. They're that sort of team. They'll be chomping at the bit. They'll have been chomping at the bit all week for this game. I want them to start like a house on fire this afternoon and just really take it to Hibs. Put the pressure on them early, silence their crowd, and bring your A game basically.
Yeah. Treble jeopardy today, Ryan. This is the one that you get through this, then you feel that the domestic clean sweep will follow, don't you? You rightfully mentioned Hibs are no slouches. A 15-game run, Ryan. That's the last time they achieved anything like that was 1949. Wow. And for those of you who are in the know, that was the time of Hibs' famous 5, maybe long before my time, Ryan, as well. But Hibs had a famous team, a famous forward line, which is known as the famous 5. They were excellent, and but they won the title a couple of times, I believe, but weren't able to win the Scottish Cup, Ryan. There you go. But the famous time. But, so that's the kind of run in history that Hibs are creating at this moment in time with their current run. So cannot be underestimated. But I agree with you. I think these are the games that flick the manager switch, they flick the player switch, and from the get-go, I think Celtic will be bang at it because they have had the benefit of no midweek game, and they'll be fresh and they'll come out the traps. And like you, I hate using words like supremely confident, but I think they'll be able. They'll have enough to see off Hibs today. Let's put it that way.
Me too. Yeah, I'm supremely confident. I'm not confident because of anything that Hibs are doing. I'm confident because of what Celtic are doing at the moment. They played well last time out. I expect them to bring similar to the table in today's game with a week's rest, a week's recuperation. A big game. There's been a lot of focus on this game. It is the standout tie, as I said previously. I think the fact that Hibs are a team that want to play football and their supporters demand that Hibs play football suits Celtic because they'll leave spaces at the back. Now, as much as I think Rocky Bashiri has been decent for Hibs in the past and decent for Hibs at the moment, I think that he does have a mistake in him, and that's something that can be exploited. For me, I want Celtic to put to silence that big crowd that Hibs are bringing today. The Hibs fans are expecting, they've beat Celtic last time out. They'll be feeling very confident going into this game. The best way to silence them is by doing it on the park and really bringing your A game to Hibs. Hibs will be up for this. Celtic need to be up for this as well. If Celtic are up for it and Hibs are up for it, there's only going to be one winner between the two sides, in my opinion. I'm confident in what Celtic can bring today. They've got firepower all over the pitch. You've got Jeffrey Schlupp scoring goals as well. You've got dominance at the back. You've got Alistair Johnston that can make assists and goals out of nowhere. The midfield has got goals. The forward line has got goals and trickery and speed and skill. How can you not be confident thinking about this team? They've not given us anything not to be confident about, apart from that last game against Hibs. But even then, I thought it was quite an unfortunate result given the way that game went in the second half. I hope that game's in their mind, and I hope that they say, right, we're going to right that wrong that happened a few weeks ago. If that's the case, then I think they'll be right up for this afternoon.
Yeah, I'll read some of these scoreline predictions, Ryan, because they're coming in thick and fast.
Oh, good.
Anthony Murphy, 4-1 Celtic, won the Hoops, he's saying. William O'Toole saying hail, hail, 3-1 to the Hoops. Natalie McMullen, 5-0 to Celtic. They're all Celtic wins, by the way, you'll be surprised, Ryan. Anthony Mingus on Menzies, what was it? Full house, 5-0 Celtic. Gary McComb saying 3-1. And John Milan a bit closer, 3-2. He's saying Celtic. Patrick McAvoy saying 4-1 Celtic. Joseph Harley saying 4-0. Hazel Finn, regular contributor and regular commenter. Hi Hazel, how you doing? Good afternoon. 4-0. She's saying Celtic. Ryan. PGM 5-2. Welsh Paul, 4-0, no bother at all. Another regular contributor, Welsh Paul. Jim C saying 2-0. Phil 67 saying 3-0. Brendan McCarthy saying 5-0. It's a beautiful day. He thinks the performance is going to be beautiful. Colin Rodgers also saying 5-0. And my good friend Peter Murphy in Gibraltar saying 4-1. How you doing, Peter? Hope it's a wonderful day over there, wherever you are. Ryan, that's quite emphatic there. I think that backs up your words being supremely confident. I think that's a kind of reflection of how the trust that the supporters have in this team. This is Brendan Rodgers' go-to team, isn't it? His go-to 11 for big games, and we've spoken about that mindset and the mentality, and they just seem to step up to the plate, don't they, whenever whenever they're asked and whenever the situation is required. And it's required again today.
Yeah, this is like, and this is a bit of a Football Manager reference for those that play the game. This is when you click best 11, unchanged 11. This is the best team that you can put out, regardless of the stamina, the endurance of the players. This is the best 11 that you can put out, I think, in terms of every position at the moment. You know, that's up for debate in terms of certain positions going forward. You know, maybe Luke McCown will be in that team, Paulo Bernardo when he comes back from injury, Adam Idah through the middle. But right now, as we speak right now, this is the best team that Celtic can put out just now. I think that's where the confidence comes from. In terms of me, for my predicted scoreline, I think both teams will score in this game. I think it'll be either 3-1 or 4-1 to Celtic. I'm kind of going between the two, 3-1 or 4-1, maybe even 4-2. It could be that sort of game today. I think it's going to be an enthralling match. A great game for the neutral, if there is one, watching the game this afternoon. But I'm just looking forward to sampling it and really being a part of that atmosphere. I think the videos that I'm going to capture at Celtic Park today will really show and reflect how boisterous and noisy it's going to be this afternoon at Celtic Park. I think a lot of people are up for this game. In fact, there was no midweek game as well. I think there's going to be a lot of people up for the game this afternoon. So, yeah, looking forward to it.
Well, I'm going to nail my colours to the mast and say 4-1, Ryan, to Celtic. Of course, you'll be there. I hope you enjoy it. Guys, whatever you're doing, enjoy. It's always result permitting, but the usual drill at the end of the game, there'll be my instant analysis, there'll be Ryan's player ratings, there'll be Q&As from the protagonists who are brought in to speak to the media et al. But enjoy it. Here's hoping we're talking about Celtic marching on to the Scottish Cup semi-final and the treble dream still being alive. So take care, Ryan. Thank you for that. Enjoy your day.
Thank you very much, Tony. You enjoy the game as well.